Well, folks, it seems that Zakapi cannot make it today, so instead I'll be your tour guide.
There will be no need for that. Why? Because I'm here. Stop. We don't have the rights to that song. Sorry about that. Let's just begin the tour. Today, we are visiting the Class 1A exhibit, where we will meet the various up-and-coming hero students in the My Hero Academia world. Young Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya was born quirkless in a world of superheroes. Midoriya was often bullied and mocked for his lack of abilities, but that never hindered his ambition to become a hero. Midoriya may not have been born with a quirk, but he was a born hero. The world's #1 hero All Might recognized this in Midoriya when Midoriya raced headfirst into danger to save his childhood friend? Kind of, more of a bully, really. But they always call each other childhood friends, so... Anyway, All Might realized that this quirkless boy had the makings of a true hero. All Might decided to mentor Midoriya and passed him down his quirk, One for All. One for All is a quirk that stockpiles power and is capable of being passed down from one user to another, building the stockpiled power from user to user. And with All Might passing down the torch to Midoriya, Midoriya has become the 9th holder of One for All. Despite being granted the same quirk that the most powerful hero uses, Midoriya's journey to becoming the greatest hero is not an easy one. In order to even accept All Might's quirk, Midoriya first had to begin an intense training regimen to help his body be able to contain All Might's power, and also clean up beach litter, which is what makes a true hero. But even after completing the regimen, and accepting All Might's quirk, Midoriya could only use a minuscule percentage of All Might's power without tearing his body apart. Yet, despite these limitations, Midoriya constantly pushes beyond, plus ultra! Sorry, force of habit. Midoriya constantly pushes past these limits and allows himself to destroy his body in the pursuit of becoming the world's greatest hero. But it isn't his quirk, self-destructive or otherwise, that makes Midoriya a hero. It's his heart. Midoriya is seemingly unable to meet a person and not change their life for the better. Whether it is inspiring his classmates to become true heroes or saving the broken, Deku truly is a hero. And when it comes to his hero name, Deku, it comes from an insult Bakugo came up with based off a reading of Midoriya's name. Deku basically means someone who's useless or can't do anything. However, Deku takes this name, this insult given to him, and turns it into a source of power and turns it into his hero name. I guess he's a bit of a pathological loser himself. But maybe that's why it took him 3 seasons to learn how to kick. As Deku gained better control of his quirk, he was able to channel One for All through his entire body at around 5 to 8% power with full cowling. Full cowling allows him to move at high speeds and very acrobatic maneuvers. His new speed-based MO is accompanied by a focus on kicks rather than punches, which spares his arms from additional damage. Oh yeah, any more serious breaks to his arm might cause him to lose complete control of them. Pathological loser indeed. Always around to catch Deku is Ochako Uraraka. Hero name Uravity. Her quirk is Zero Gravity. Using pads on her fingers, she is able to make things float, including herself. Unfortunately, if she floats too long or floats too many things, she gets quite nauseous. Her quirk might make her quite useful for rescue work, but she's no slack when it comes to combat either. What goes up must come down, and Uraraka uses that to her advantage in fights, either by sending foes up in the air and dropping them down again, or by using the environment itself to send a downpour of debris onto an opponent. Uraraka seems to be athletic as well, as she's only slightly slower than Deku, who trained intensely, might I remind you. To give herself even more of an edge though, she trains with the battle hero, Gunhead, during her internship following the sports festival. Unlike Deku, Uraraka isn't aiming to be the greatest hero, but is more focused on being able to support her family. Uraraka's family is on the poorer side of things, and she initially wanted to use her quirk to help with her family's construction business. But her parents didn't want her to help them instead of following her dreams. Instead, she chose to become a hero and make enough money to support her family financially. This doesn't mean she hasn't been inspired by Deku, however, as she definitely is driven to be a better hero due to his example. Not only does she ask herself what would Deku do when trying to form her next plan of attack, but she also went up to bat for him and offered to give him some of her points for the entrance exam, where he scored 0 points when he chose to save her rather than gain more points himself. Also, she may have a bit of a crush on him too. Never too far behind Deku and Uraraka is Tenya Ida. Ida's quirk is Engine. He sports engines in his calf that are fueled by orange juice and allow him to move at high speeds. With his super move, Reciprocal Burst, he is capable of increasing that speed to the extreme, but only for a short time. When we first meet Class 1A's class representative, he is uptight and somewhat cynical. However, no one is immune to Deku's influence for long, and despite being quite critical of Midoriya, Ida too finds himself changed for the better. What's that? You're asking why Ida's not wearing his hero uniform? You think it's because it was too complex for me to want to draw? Well, you're right. You see, as I alluded to earlier, Deku saved Uraraka during the entrance exam. During this moment, Ida had just fled from a 0-point target that was lumbering towards a stuck Uraraka and a fallen Deku. Okay, you know what? Stop judging me. Ida's outfit has a lot going on with it and it completely covers his character design. Ida looks a lot like a friend of mine, so I chose to draw him so that you can see his character design. So just get over it, okay? Okay. As I was saying, robot coming, blah blah blah. Okay, so Ida bailed with the rest of the applicants. But Deku charged at the robot and took it out with one punch to save Uraraka, knowing it would mean he failed the exam. However, the exam was scored on two different systems. Points given to applicants who took out robots worth various points, and hero points that were secretly given to applicants who did things that are, well, heroic. Deku easily scored the highest for this category and was entered into UA. Initially, Ida would believe that Deku had some sort of insight into this system, and that's why he acted the way he did. However, as Ida grew to better know Deku, he would realize that Deku simply acted to save Uraraka. Ida would begin the process of growth. Inspired by Deku's heroics, this would be reinforced when Ida's older brother, the hero Ingenium, would be defeated and hospitalized by the hero killer Stain. Driven by vengeance, Ida sought out the hero killer and confronted him, only to find himself outmatched. Stain criticized Ida for not being a true hero and acting out of vengeance rather than heroism. Fortunately, Deku was always there to save the day and showed Ida what a true hero is. Inspired by his friends, Ida was able to help fend off the hero killer and is continuing down the path of a hero as his brother's successor, Ingenium. And now we're on to Koji Koda. Hero name, Anima. Koda's quirk is Animvoice. He's able to talk to and command animals as well as insects. Oops, sorry about that, buddy. Yeah, he may be able to control bugs, but that doesn't mean he is too fond of them. However, when it comes down to it, he's able to overcome this fear and talk to bugs. And yes, I know, spiders are arachnids, not insects. I've read Spider-Man comics, guys. Despite his quirk being based around speech, Koda is quite shy and reserved, and very rarely speaks. He's more of a passive character and doesn't seem to really like violence. There's not a lot to talk about regarding Koda, but apparently his hair is only probably hair according to the writer. I hope you have a sweet tooth, because the next student is Sato Rikudo, hero name Sugar Man. His quirk is Sugar Rush. When he consumes sugar, his strength increases greatly. The more sugar he consumes, the longer the strength lasts, but his intelligence drops and he becomes sleepier as well.
Sounds like if we had a kid with that smart G-girl from the license exam, the child would be unstoppable.
What? Gross. Okay, get out of here, Roy Dever. That's not how you're supposed to view relationships. Anyway, Sato is also a great baker, which helps him win the best storm competition, and there's not a whole lot to talk about with this guy either. He's a pretty straightforward fighter, and that is useful, but also limits him a bit. Which we see when he and Kirishima fail their end of the term exams. Back to the fan favorites, we have Suyu Asue, hero name Froppy. Her quirk is Frog. She can do anything a frog can. Super long prehensile tongue. I guess frogs can maybe do that. And so can Froppy. Can she jump? For sure. Stick to things? Yep. Spit out her stomach? Gross, but yes. Camouflage to her surroundings? That's her super move. Froppy's skill set makes her an ideal rescue hero, a role she fully embraces. She largely relies on cooperation with others to make it out of conflicts, and primarily focuses on acting as a transport for the less mobile characters. Froppy is less equipped for one-on-one battles. She displays very little combat prowess outside of team attacks. She is a difficult target to pin down, but can't really operate on the offensive effectively. Another weakness is her cold-blooded biology. She grows tired in colder temperatures, and extreme colds will put her into a hibernative state. Froppy is a fairly blunt character who frequently speaks her mind. While most people call themselves blunt when they really just mean they are a jerk, Sue isn't mean-spirited and is a very endearing character. But she won't let that stop her from standing up to her friends. When one of her classmates were kidnapped by the League of Supervillains, she stood up to her fellow classmates who planned to break the rules to try and save him. Froppy didn't want her friends to put themselves in more danger and break the rules while potentially only making things worse. Of course, the classmates, including Deku, still followed their plan. This put Sue in an awkward position where she felt both guilty and betrayed following these events. Eventually, she talked to her friends, though, and they were able to move past this. On the opposite end of the spectrum is a character who is very combat-oriented. Mashiro Ojiro. Hero name, Tailman. His quirk, Tail, grants him a strong prehensile tail. Ojiro is a skilled martial artist who uses his tail to enhance his combat abilities. His tail is quite muscular and can hit with a lot of force. However, his reliance on his tail makes him somewhat predictable. However, he has adapted and become less predictable in his motions. Ojiro's tail might be somewhat of an underwhelming quirk, and he may appear to be somewhat plain, but don't underestimate him. He is both smart and capable, ranking high both in academics and ability. He actually ranked in the top 16 for the sports festival, but forfeited his place because he was under mind control during a portion of the festival. This honorable and capable student may seem simple, but he has the makings of a true hero. And next on the list is next.
Where are you going? Come back.
Fine. You might notice it looks like I spent 30 seconds on Minetta's drawing. That's because I did. I hate this character. This creepy diaper baby is a disgusting pervert who regularly sexually harasses his classmates to comedic effect. I absolutely love everything about the series, but Minetta is a stain. Well, no, I actually like Stain as a character. Minetta is a dark mark on an otherwise amazing series. His dumb quirk is pop-off. He pulls off the dumb balls off his dumb head and throws them. They stick to everything but him. He bounces off them. You could say his hero name is Grape Juice, but then you'd have to pretend that he's a hero to do that, and not just some sort of sexual predator. I hope he's the mole and we can just get rid of him. On a lighter note is Toru Hagakure. Toru's quirk is whoa. I'm so sorry, but this is way too not safe for work for my channel. Hold on. Okay, so sorry about that. Please don't demonetize me, YouTube, and by that I mean please monetize me, YouTube. Anyway, Toru's quirk is invisible. She's invisible. Her hero name is Invisible Girl. I think you can see why. She can't turn her clothes invisible, so she has to be naked to really take advantage of her quirk, thus the censor bars. Again, sorry for that inappropriateness. Someone should really hook her up with some unstable molecules, or maybe follow Mirio's lead and use her hair as a basis for her outfit, although it might be a bit difficult to work with something you can't see. Toru also can use her quirk to bend and refract light to blind her opponents by flashing them. Okay, did Minetta come up with this character? Anyone? Okay, whatever. Anyway, Toru seems to be a lot of people's candidates for best girl. Personally, I don't really see the appeal. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get so much hate if this video gets any sort of traction just for that joke. Mina Ashido! Hero name, Pinky. Her quirk is acid. She secretes corrosive liquid which she can use offensively. Which is kind of terrifying though, really, when you think about it. And defensively, with her super move, Acid Veil, she can create a veil of acid to melt incoming projectiles. She can also slide around on the acid she secretes from her feet to move a bit faster. Mina's an outgoing, happy-go-lucky girl. She is generally very popular and well-liked and admired. She's actually credited with having the best reaction time of the girls in Class 1A and outranks many of the boys. Despite her athleticism and popularity, she isn't the best of students and generally needs a little help to keep her grades up. She's very invested in the romances of her classmates and even the teachers, and is very quick to jump to conclusions on who is secretly in love with who. On to the cool student now, we've reached Shoto Todoroki. His quirk is half cold, half hot. A very cold and aloof character, Todoroki keeps his distance from his peers. Driven by contempt for his father, Todoroki refuses to use his left side, his fire side. Instead, he relies solely on his right side, his icy side. Of course, this changes when Oh dear. It wouldn't seem I've run out of time. I'm sorry viewers, but we'll have to continue this tour at a later date. Here I go, running away! I swear these videos keep getting longer and longer. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed the video. I really appreciated you taking the time to watch it. Once again, my gym class stories video is coming out either early December or late November. And I have the Pokemon video coming out in a couple of weeks. So if either of those things sound interesting to you, consider subscribing and stay tuned. Thank you for your time.